All right, well, Donald Trump's still not ruling out the possibility he might vote for the Republican Party and then run in a third-party way. That might be easier said than done anyway, but the fact that he's even mentioning that goes back to what he feels is a sort of Republican mainstream cabal against him. Reaction now from Bush 41 campaign advisor Mark Serrano. What he is saying, essentially, Mark, as you know, is, look, I've made a commitment to this party. This party has made no commitment to me. How bad, how ugly does this get?
Well, we know by now, Neil, that Trump is crazy like a fox. You know, there's always some sort of method behind his madness. And in this case, I think it's really not an actual third-party bid that is a risk. It really is the threat. You know, Trump is the master negotiator. He's the maestro of the media. And so I think it's just maintaining a threat. You know, first of all, keeps interest in him by the media, but then also sends a signal to the establishment and the party bosses that says, you know, he will not take their shenanigans lightly.
You know, I understand that, but everyone cowers at these threats. And they just, you know, now the latest thing is I should get this nomination. I might not get the delegates, but I have the most delegates, so it should be mine, and I would be very angry. I can't support anyone else. I'm paraphrasing. That was what he was saying.
Right.
So who's sounding like the spoiled brat here?
Well, he does, and that's it's part of his his image. It's part of the brand that he's established.
Yeah, but if you don't have the delegates, you don't have the delegates. So if you might have an appreciable lead, and God bless him,
right,
if that stays the case, but if you don't have the 1237, you don't. So I guess I don't understand all these new machinations to justify, if you're ahead, give it to you.
But remember, in deal-making, you start from the most extreme position.
Absolutely.
And that's what he's going to constantly keep doing. And also, what I think is very, very interesting is after June 7th, if Trump is very close, and either way, he's going to be close. He's going to be close just under the 1237 or have a few delegates above. If he comes short, there's a 6-week period before the convention that I think he's going to be campaigning. He's going to be pressuring. You've never seen a blitz.
But
like
isn't
we'll
the argument, Mark, that he's,
period.
oddly enough, as a deal maker extraordinaire, he's not been doing that well coming to the table with the deal that you see Ted Cruz doing for a lot of these uncommitted delegates, and even those who aren't committed. That Cruz supposedly has the better ground game for this. Now, the Trump people will say he's trying to steal delegates. Others will say he's just being shrewd. Where do you stand on this?
Yes, it's both. He's stealing delegates because he's shrewd. You know, Trump, I think, was late to this part of...
All right, there we go.
It's both. Right. Trump, you know, is a little bit late to this part of the game, but not anymore. He's got the talent on board now to fight those fights. Even in Tennessee on Saturday, you know, there was a big fight taking place there over a handful of delegates. You know, that's how precious they are. So I think he's not going to be outsmarted anymore in these fights by Cruz to the extent that he has.
All right, very good seeing you again, my friend. Mark Serrano.
Thanks, Neil.